So the Maggid of Mezrich, who was the teacher of the Alter Rebbe, who was his teacher was the Baal Shem Tov. So it's the founder of Hasidus, and then the in between, the conduit to the founder of Chabad Hasidus. So he says there's a quote from Devarim, Deuteronomy 10:12. And now, Israel, what does your Lord ask from you? But to fear your Lord, to fear God your Lord, and to follow him in all his ways, to love him and serve him with all your heart and all your soul. A person must fear the sin itself and not just the punishment. For example, a father tells his son, don't walk barefoot. And he warns him. He says, if you step on a thorn, you'll have to be taken to the doctor. He'll have to remove it, and it's a procedure, and it will hurt. And so the son, because of his limited intelligence of his youth, is not afraid of the thorn itself and the possibility of stepping on it. He's just afraid of the removal. But the father really wishes him to avoid the thorn to begin with. And the father sees that removing the thorn is actually a positive remedy, and if he should require it. So the kid is scared of getting the thorn out, but the father says, if the thorn would be in, we'd be happy to get it out. So with our avoidance of transgression, it's like avoiding the thorn itself versus what happens next, which is to clean us of it, the removal of the thorn. We're scared of the suffering that comes from having to remove the thorn, but we should be scared of the thorn, it says, as we mature. So man wishes to avoid punishment, but God worries about the sin itself. He sees the punishment as a necessary atonement and correction. I want to share from Isun Anwar. His name is Ehsun Anwar. When a man is defensive or dismissive at a woman's self-expression, it sends the message she's not free to lean on him. He cannot protect her because he's too busy protecting himself, and this creates disconnection. Feminine principle is about connection. She feels hurt, she feels unseen, he thinks she's ungrateful, unfairly critical, and he feels justified to withdraw. The reality is, the more defensive and easily angered, the more unresolved trauma, reliving pain of the past, and projecting what she's saying as, I'm not good enough, I have to defend myself. Changing this doesn't mean allowing disrespect. It means relaxing enough to feel her words instead of analyzing and reacting. Energy never lies. So basically, her expression is, in some way, you transgressed her. Now, why is it so hard for you and you're resisting the fact that she's expressing that you transgressed her? The very fact that you transgressed her is the issue here. The cleaning is just you being able to take accountability for it as a man. So energy never lies. The feeling creates a bridge of connection to her truth. When you feel safe and secure with yourself, her words are not a threat. You can recognize them as a valuable signal as to how much love she needs from you, or perhaps an expression of her past wounds. And then you can respond in a masculine but loving way. She can relax and lean on your stability and safe presence, knowing she will not be punished for having feelings, since you won't deny her or shrink into a defensive cocoon anymore. Healing the past wounds creates enormous spaces of peace inside of you, enabling you to feel untouched by others' emotions and opinions. And the daily work, quote-unquote, grind, you become the relaxed balance of strength and deep connection that your woman craves from you. On Instagram, where a lot of great teachers share, is that on the phone? Yeah, oh, okay. Share great wisdom. There's an account called Your Diagnonsense, instead of diagnosis, Diagnonsense. Connection only so we're talking about connection here. So connection only happens when you love your partner in the way that they want to be loved, because real love meets the other's needs. It's not just for your own comfort. 2, when you're genuinely interested in your partner and you show it. Connection is not about proximity, it's about presence. 3, when you express love and affection consistently, even if you're not actively cultivating fondness and admiration. Sorry, I need to read out. I got distracted by my own 3 fingers. It's like a salute. When you express love and affection consistently, because if you're not actively cultivating fondness and admiration, the connection will fade. And 4, when you respond to your partner's bids for attention, if you ignore or reject their bids, it creates emotional distance. 5, when it's consistent and reliable through staying in touch, checking in, being open and vulnerable, then you're able to protect the connection. Withholding and distance and avoidance, it does not protect the relationship. It actually will slowly destroy it. Some people think it's like more peaceful, but the connection will be gone in that. The quote unquote peace means the connection can't exist. So 6, when curiosity is met with openness and vulnerability, not with walls, because walls keep things shallow, vulnerability brings us closer. 7, when both people put in the effort, making it a priority rather than a checklist. Without this shared commitment, intimacy fades into routine or worse, resentment. And 8, when we respect each other's emotions fully without dismissing or downplaying them. So validation builds trust. Minimization builds walls. On Instagram, also, there was Francesca Psychology. The price of intimacy is conflict. When you avoid conflict, you also avoid intimacy. Real closeness requires exposure. And letting someone into your inner world means they'll sometimes step on tender ground. Avoiding conflict is often a survival strategy that may have prevented you from rejection or pain, but it also is now what keeps you from the closeness you truly long for. And conflict is a chance to repair that trust, to strengthen connection and prove to yourself that they're not going to abandon you. I decided to workshop this, so I went to a 12-step meeting, which there's for everything, whether you're using food to avoid connection or marijuana or alcohol or any other kind of drugs. And so I was thinking about, I had to work on my own, so in order to see my barriers to connection. So working on benefit of the doubt versus the projecting the malevolent intentions on others. Why would I connect with somebody? And I'm not saying I have the great answer, but I had to trust my higher power, Shem, is the one with control over what it can actually happen and is aligned. So it's patience, but versus thinking someone means to hurt me just because I didn't get what I wanted. Like we said, for a man, but also for a woman, you have to heal to get that inner space. You don't take things so personally. And this feeling that I was often like a stranger in a strange land, it was very humbling for me to be able to feel so like outsider, so that every little thing that someone did that was kind really touched me. And in order for emotional availability, where there was like this outer circuitry that could happen based on that inner circuitry, because I was directly relating to myself, not through or with an other, like, othering myself, like looking at myself as this object sort of, or like letting someone else see me as like this object, like a means to an end, which comes from perfectionism, because I don't want to be like the real connection. Like the perfectionism was a big blockage, because it was like the good guy who puts his shit on me. I thought, this is a man, Shlomo. And the bad guy who wants to put me down to their shit, which was Aaron. Like, I'm just saying, this is people who were holding space for these projections. And instead of idealizing people with such high expectations, I realized I could be present and peaceful in that I'm good enough. And instead of being numb, avoidant, controlling, which was ways. And what caused me there was to also look at the triggers. Triggers are like someone talking over me, not letting me talk, or someone dismissing me like I'm crazy, calling me crazy. Someone who withdraws and punishes emotional expression. Double standards, being left behind, feeling I'm rejected, abandoned, that someone's withholding approval, or that I want to speak straight with it. I had to withhold approval rather than just ask for what I need and get disappointed. Someone not caring about my feelings. The bridges I did not burn when I needed to resulted in that destructive energy. It became like implosive, explosive. And there's this My Global on Instagram where this woman, she says something very powerful about a man. Like, connection is by free will. And she says, like, a lot of people, they try to like manipulate, but if you really respect someone, you really respect a man, you don't force him to like you, have feelings for you, or want to be with you. If a man truly has feelings for you, you'll see he also has respect for you, shown by the fact he's not in a rush. He's not in a hurry to rush you into physical intimacy. A man who truly has feelings for you will always be proactive, texting first, keeping in touch, wanting to delve deeper when talking to you. But if there's no respect, it's not true love. So it's just that you want to have that person for some other reason and you think it's love. For women, that means it's not about forcing a man to stay when he doesn't want to. And for a man, it's not about rushing into physical contact when the woman doesn't want it and is uncomfortable. And the last thing I'll talk about is how awakening is funny. Like, in other words, when you stop needing that other and you start showing up in connection, it's like you have to find a way to relate to the other. You have to find a way to connect to the other, which is not always easy. And you can't really other the other person as much when you're like, so I got this from Eyes _in__. Awakening's funny. You got to blame yourself for everything, but with compassion. Maybe you carry trauma because your soul knew a wounded lion would be more dangerous to capture. Perfectionism is a psyop. It's the very fact we're imperfect which creates spaciousness for our consciousness to expand and evolve. It's probably serving you best to stop seeing yourself like a broken vase someone dropped and now needs fixing. Instead, see yourself as an infinite puzzle that can never be completed, but you can just enjoy discovering new pieces, seeing where they fit. Because the path never ends. It mirrors the internal essence. You can see yourself as broken and needing healing, but then you might be trapped in a hamster wheel of miserable not enoughness. But if you see yourself as an explorer, learning and integrating your experiences, and the adventure never ends, be gentle with yourself as you unravel thousands of years worth of conditioning. And without self-compassion, self-mastery is just tyranny. So we don't want that. We want true connection. So, we want wholehearted connection through free will. That's the theme today. All the best. Have a great week. Shavua Tov Mevorach. May all our dreams come true in the most beautiful way because we're on the same side with Hashem. May we experience true connection. May we be able to have a whole heart and we're recognized our bravery. And may we let go and feel embraced with community and our growth spurts through the seasons of change. May we feel welcome and may we sleep well. And may we have that synchronicity that shows us that it's not just me or you, it's transpersonal, it's from Hashem. May we clearly share our boundaries in a healthy way where people could feel validated. May we really be able to connect in divine and holy, good, mutually beneficial, symbiotic ways.